Miss James. This is the Super Death Grind, episode 10.1, week 10, day one of my 2 year super duper death grind. Um, quick updates. I'm going to try to make this one as quick as possible because I'm way behind today because I slept until 6. So, notes on things. Ate a bunch of food this weekend. It was Halloween. Feel great for it. Do I feel a little chubby? For sure. Do I feel rejuvenated, refreshed, and energized? Absolutely. I was trying to say something there. It came out the way it did. But I feel great. Mentally, I feel awesome. Physically, I feel really strong right now. Yeah, I feel phenomenal. It's fantastic. Beautiful reset. Had a little bit of sugar. Had an almond joy on Halloween, one of those snack sized ones. Had two yesterday. Had a little bit of sugar. Other than that, I had just tons of food. It was mostly healthy food. My wife cooked spaghetti the last 2 nights. Didn't have a whole lot of noodles, mind you. Had a big salad, dumped the spaghetti sauce and stuff in there. But I had a bunch of that, like veggies and spaghetti sauce and moose meat. It was awesome. I feel great. No caffeine, feeling great. I think am going to continue with just the decaf coffee until I can um, find a better solution or until I can trick my brain to loving tea, which I don't know if that's possible. I slept last night like I haven't slept in a long time. I probably slept 8 hours, maybe. Yeah. Um, ate a bunch of food. Woke up. I think I fell asleep on the sofa as per usual, and which I need to change that. But fell asleep. Woke up. Ate some more food. Ate like half a pound of turkey with some spaghetti sauce. Went back to bed intentionally so I could sleep like the Dickens, and I did, and I feel great. Um, and my hunger levels were a little bonkers yesterday, but that's because I did way more activity physically than I'm used to, which was a little tough, a little rough. But I feel great today. Also had some electrolytes last night. Also had some booze last night, but I still feel great. Um, so yeah, one thing that I like to do is I like to live by universal principles because I think once you make a statement and it can apply into multiple facets of life. It is a beautiful thing. This is one reason why old philosophy is so great, from the time of like Socrates and Plato and Seneca to, writings of the Quran or writings of the Bible, that a lot of these, stories we get from there. A lot of these universal principles are so great because we used to have people whose job it was to do nothing but sit around all day and philosophize. Can you imagine a life where all you do is think about life and stuff like that? It's a beautiful thing. So, one of the things that I live my life off of that I just see universally is don't go speeding, don't go chasing red lights. So, the physical real world example of this is I like to drive slow. Now, if it's 2 in the morning and I'm on the road, I will go severely under the speed limit and just take my time. I was raised in a small town, so I really like slow driving. It's just peaceful and relaxing to me. If it's during the busy hours or whatever, I'll go the speed limit. Heck, I might even go 5 over the speed limit if I'm feeling risky. But I like to drive slow. I like to drive calm. I don't like to be. One of the things I hate in life is feeling rushed. It's just the stress levels you feel from feeling rushed. And my thought process is if you have to rush somewhere, you didn't plan enough, and that's on you. Um, so I just realized I have to take care of this sticky note, so I'm going to put it right on my screen. So this morning and a lot of mornings, this will happen is, I drive and, I don't really watch the clock on when I'm driving. But I realized today, I was driving with traffic because I made it to the office around 7 a.m. because I didn't wake up until 6 a.m. What's going on with you, James? 8 hours of sleep. Get out of here. But, I would see cars and they just, I'm driving the speed limit. Okay. It's 45. I'm doing 45 in this particular zone. And people are just like riding my tail and they pass me and there's a red light ahead of us. And I drive almost the same patterns every day. To work, to home, or to certain places. So I know light timings really well. And, I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to catch up to you. So this person, you know, is scurrying through traffic, weaving in and out. Maybe they're in a rush. Maybe they're headed to a job they hate. So, instead of being a jerk in my mind to them, instead of saying, wow, this person's such a jerk, which I do sometimes because they're driving crazy. More often than not, I just end up feeling sorry for them. I'm like, wow, they are probably having a horrible morning. Maybe they're rushing to drop their kids off to school. So I try not to judge anyone like that on the road. But this person, maybe the roads, I live in Alaska, so maybe the roads are icy and the condition is hazardous. I'm like, wow, this person's risking life right now to be somewhere 2 minutes earlier and going 15 miles an hour over the speed limit. It's just not worth it, especially when me doing the speed limit. I just roll up to them at the red light and I'm right next to them, and I'm like, wow, you just chase this red light into a full on stop and you put so much stress and so much energy into this thing that for what? So you could be 2 minutes early to somewhere you probably don't even like, if I'm being honest. And it's just a sad thing. So the universal principle here is don't go chasing red lights. So what I mean by that is a lot of times the destination to you is seemingly really important when I would argue that maybe that destination is not important at all. Right? If I'm your boss and the roads are terrible and you show up 20 minutes late, instead of being a jerk and saying, wow, what's wrong with you? You should have, planned 20 minutes ahead. No, I'm going to say, hey, thanks for driving cautiously. Thanks for not getting in an accident. Thanks for not getting anyone else in an accident. Cool. You know, so if you don't have that kind of boss, you just need to have that conversation with them. Say, hey, my job is important to me, but it's not worth risking my life. I'm not going to speed. I'm not going to get a ticket for you, and I'm not going to put myself and my family and other humans in jeopardy to get here, you know, on time when I'm 2 to 5 minutes late. So the way I phrase this in real life is a lot of times we have these destinations we feel that are super important to get to, whether it be in fitness you want to lose some weight, in financially you want to make a bunch of money and retire early, whatever those things are. A lot of times there's these destinations and we go chasing red lights. We chase things we know, or maybe even unknowingly, when we see a roadblock ahead, we're just like, oh, I need to get there. I need to get there because I need to get to the end goal as soon as possible. But you have many, many, many lights ahead of you. And chasing a red light is basically you chasing a marker on your path to your destination, and you're rushing it and you feel stressed out about it, when you should just relax and say, I'm going to get there when I'm going to get there. And the best way to get there is safe and in one piece. So, relating this to fitness is, instead of setting like hard goals on yourself, unless you're, not talking to the 1% of the population who's like, got a photo shoot or, a bodybuilding show or something like that. But for a lot of us, we put these pressures on, like, I got to lose 15 pounds. And like, when do you have to do it? As soon as possible. And I'm like, why? You've had these 15 pounds for 5 to 10 years on you. What's so pressing that you have to throw caution to the wind and just go bombarding through life saying that this is your new mission? No, don't get me wrong. I think everyone should maintain a healthy weight, and it is vitally important for your health and overall well-being that you maintain a healthy weight, and you should get there sooner than later. But what I'm not saying is throw caution into the wind and have unnecessary stress and charge voraciously at these roadblocks that are just going to do more internal damage than they will good at the end of the day. So what you should do is you should plan things, you should structure things, and know that we're going to have setbacks in life. And instead of just barreling through these setbacks on your way to the next setback, you need to take the time to step back and say, hey, I ran into this roadblock. What are the lessons learned here? How can I apply this to future thought processes or future processes to not get here so abruptly and so jaggedly, right? Because once you hit that red light, you're, oh man, I'm hitting all the red lights. And, we've all had those days when you go chasing these red lights and you're on your way to work or something and it's red light after red light after red light, or you need to be somewhere on time, and it's just poor planning. It's poor planning because you didn't take the time to allow yourself enough time to do these things comfortably. And that's what ends up happening to everything. And I know a lot of times in like business or other certain aspects in life that it is of utmost importance that you get to a certain thing at a certain time. But at the same time, there's something to be said for doing things right. And if you cannot do things right, you need to take a step back and you need to learn and deconstruct that thing of what was prohibitive here, what was actually going on, what led me to this roadblock, and what led me to feeling stressed out and hitting this and being upset and those sorts of things. So don't go chasing red lights on the road or in life. Be a good driver. Be a good human. That's all I got. Bye bye.